Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal, and the Noblegarden holiday is finally back, bringing with it a new opportunity for you to add new items to your collectibles, featuring a couple of mounts, a bunch of pets, lots of transmog pieces, and a few more other items. And this time for the War Within update, it also got with it a few new weapons to add to your collection, with most of the items being of flowery variety. However, I definitely did forget just how short-lived this holiday is, and it's not going to be around for too long. And if you're coming back to the game as of recently, there's a good chance you missed out on a lot of the rewards that have been added over the past few expansions. So I wanted to do an updated guide to the Noblegarden holiday event, going over how to maximize the currency gains to get all of the chocolates as quickly as possible to buy every single item that is available on these vendors, and how to unlock all of the other rewards that you get from the boss event that will be available in both Elven Forest as well as in Duratar. And with that, I kind of just want to jump into the guide as soon as possible. But right before that, if you want to see more updates for the War Within expansion, especially for the patch 11.15 coming out really soon, be sure to follow the channel and subscribe. But otherwise, let's dive right in. The Noblegarden event is a very short-lived event that doesn't last for a very long time, giving players a very limited window to collect all of the items before they are gone until the next year. And this time around, they've actually updated the Noblegarden rewards a little bit. Last time they did a big update, I think was during Dragonflight, I'm pretty sure. But this time around, they got a War Within update. Not as big as the Dragonflight one, which added a whole new world boss for you to slay. But at least they do have new items on here, specifically new Noblegarden weapons, which I think we might have seen a recolor of some of these maybe on the train post, but I'm not 100%. There is 5 weapons in total: a staff, a punny bow, an axe, another staff, as well as a dagger for you to pick from. And every single one of these items will set you back about 100 Noblegarden chocolates, which is the unique currency for this event. So that's going to be 100 times 5 weapons. You're looking at 500 Noblegarden chocolates. That's basically equivalent to a price of a full-blown mount that you can buy during this event. So it's going to take you a little bit of time to grind all of these out. However, hopefully these items are on the same loot table as the rest of the items in the vendor, which can technically potentially be looted while you're farming the chocolates and the eggs in order to buy all of these items. So hopefully you'll start seeing these on the drop table. We'll find out in the next few days if they'll start showing up for a handful of players. There's a potential for it. Otherwise, it's going to set you at least 500 chocolates overall. As for some of the other rewards available on the vendor, like I said, right before we get into the actual farming and how to get them as efficiently as possible, all of these items can actually drop from the eggs and the chocolates that you farm during this event. So if you get lucky on any of these items while you're doing the farm, there's a pretty good chance you could at least reduce the price cost of some of these. Like one of the better ones, the Swift Spring Strider, a mount that I actually seen for another player. I seen that drop from an egg, which is a really rare drop. But if you do get it, that's 500 less chocolates that you need to obtain. But also, I'm pretty sure these mounts can be sold in the auction house as well. So you could technically make this event something that could potentially translate into thousands of gold to fuel your next few crafts of gear for the season. Besides this, we also have pets such as a spring rabbit's foot, a Noblegarden bunny, as well as the newer addition from Dragonflight, a lovely duckling. Then we also have a non-combat pet, the mystical spring bouquet, as well as other items like a Noblegarden's Hearthstone. I'm a big fan of Hearthstone collections, so if you want to add this one to your collection, this one is definitely a fantastic option. There's also a unique toy just for the dragon riding mounts from the expansion of Dragonflight, like the 4 original drakes that you got as you level through that expansion. Those also have unique saddles and toys, and there is one of those toys that's available for this event called a Drake's Big Basket of Egg, as well as a variety of some of the more unique and sought after transmogs, from the dress to the suit and tie, some of the more formal attire, but also the bunny rabbit ears. So definitely worth picking those up if you want to add them to your collection for future MOG purposes, as they will be available during this event specifically. Besides this though, there's also questline rewards as well. If you've never completed them in the past, definitely should do them, because you can get a duck disguise toy from Xena Brooks on the Alliance side, or from Silvaria Fairflame over on the Horde side, that allows you to disguise yourself into a duckling. And as you do the questline, you could actually get yourself one of the different appearances of the different ducklings to use as a disguise. Just something fun to utilize whenever you want to. You can also get the toy that's great for farming, the Eager Basket, that comes from a quest named A Tisker, a Tasket, a Noblegarden Basket, which is a short quest line that most players end up completing just for doing the actual event. Now we take a look at the rewards. Let's go over how to farm them as quickly as possible, and the way you'll be doing that is running circles, farming as many eggs as humanly possible. You find these eggs around multitudes of different locations. Goldshire is one of the places, any of the starting zone in areas. Dornogal is another location, but so is Teldraszus from Dragonflight. So there's actually quite a few places where these eggs can spawn, but all you do is run around in circles and collect as many eggs as humanly possible. And that's really it. The actual activity itself, it's not difficult, it just takes a little bit of a grind, and the more efficient you are grabbing up these eggs, the faster you can get all the currency necessary in order to buy all of these items to make the grind as quickly as possible. Now, one of the ways you can speed up this grind indefinitely is by adding an interact keybind. Basically, any item that's in front of you, it's able to be interactable with, so you don't need to right-click the egg and try to see if you can mouse over it, especially if the other players are crowding the eggs. Just use the interact keybind and it will interact with an item right in front of you, usually being the egg. You can loot it immediately. It speeds up the whole activity quite a bit and makes the process so much more seamless. Also, use the Noblegarden macro while you're doing this event. This macro will do a couple of things, like it'll try to open eggs in your inventory so you can loot items inside quickly, because those eggs will take up quite a bit of space. It also removes the bunny effect that may appear sometimes. Every single time you loot an egg, there's a chance to transform your character into a rabbit, which makes it impossible for you to interact with certain items, and this immediately removes the buff, so you no longer have to worry about the activity itself. You also use the basket if you have the Eager Basket in order to speed up your movement speed for a little bit. Makes it a little bit faster for you to farm out all these eggs. And lastly, some of the best hunting spots for eggs that I found. I think Goldshire is pretty much best in slot. It's really easy layout. You just run around the main inn. The eggs are in very much predictable corners, spaces, especially on the outside. There are other places that you can go to as well, but you can just run circles. Previously this event, you had to find a good camping spot and then farm an egg that keeps spawning there endlessly. But at some point, I don't know if it was last expansion or 2 expansions ago, they changed this so that multiple people can loot the same egg. It still does despawn kind of quickly after like a few people nab it, but at least it's much better and easier to just run circles so you can get more eggs a lot quicker. You don't have to compete with everybody just by sitting in one spot and farming one egg that spawns in one location. So it's actually better to just find a spot that you can just go in circles and just farm endlessly. So Goldshire, in my opinion, honestly is best spot. Whether you play Alliance or Horde, just make an Alliance character just for egg farming. I actually think this zone is probably one of the better ones. On the Horde side, I think Falconwing Square over in Eversong Woods, which is the Silvermoon area, is decent as well. It's a lot more out of the way, so there's a good chance not everybody's going to be rushing there directly because you have to take a portal and you can't fly in that zone, which is annoying. But once you get there, if you're just trying to beat the traffic, I think it is one of the better spots. They do also have a new location in Dornogal, as well as in Teldraszus if you choose another capital city, if you do choose another capital city instead. Now, the last set of rewards that can come from the Noblegarden event is the Noblegarden World Boss. To spawn the boss, you have to basically find a massive giant golden egg and drag it towards where the boss spawns, which is in his nest. The nest locations can be found on the map, either in Durotar or in Elven Forest, and you should see a star exactly where the boss should be spawning. Now, when you slay the boss, you get yourself a loot-filled basket, and inside of the basket, you had to have a fairly low chance of about 3% or so to get the Noble Flying Carpet, which is somewhat low, but I looked into it and it doesn't seem to have bad luck protection, but it does have a higher chance to drop on your first kill of the day. So just by slaying the boss and looting this thing once a day on at least a character, apparently you have a higher chance to loot it. But I don't know for certain if it has anything like a bad luck protection where the chances keep getting higher until it's like a guarantee. I researched it, I couldn't find anything on bad luck protection for that one specifically. And when you don't get the mount, you also have a chance to get the Spring Reveler's Turquoise Attire, which has pieces for either the dress outfit or the suit and pants type of outfit. And there's about 6 overall pieces to make up the entire collection of the Spring Reveler's Turquoise Attire. And as always though, I do want to thank all of you guys so much for watching this guide, and I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did enjoy it or found it informative, go ahead and give it a like. I would very much appreciate it. Jump into our Discord community, link in the description, in order to join in on the discussion, especially with a bunch of new content and updates coming out with the patch 11.15. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and as always, I'll see all of you guys in the next one.